You walk past it 100 times and never once know what you are looking at. It stands along the fence line and the edge of the road in the late summer, waist high, with clusters of pale pink flowers, 5 petals to each, and thick stems swollen at the joints, and you take it for a common roadside weed and think no more of it. Some folks pull it up and throw it on the burn pile. But go and pick a good handful of those leaves, crush them up in your 2 wet hands under a little warm water, and work them the way you would a bar of soap, and something happens that stops most people cold the first time they see it. It lathers. A real, slick, soapy lather rises up right there in your palms, out of a plant you would have mowed down without a second thought. That weed by your fence is soap. It has been soap all along, long before anyone bottled the blue kind and sold it back to you. Think of how many times you have stood at the store and set another bottle of dish soap in your cart, a few dollars a bottle, and then done it again the next month, and the month after that, all your life. The English pour it out by the jug for the dishes, another kind for the hands, another for the hair, a shelf full of bottles for jobs that one plain plant did well enough for hundreds of years. And that plant is not hiding in some far-off country. It is growing wild and free along the roads and the rail banks and the field edges of very near every part of this country, and most who pass it have no notion that it is soap at all. I am going to show you the whole of it, how to know this plant on sight, the way to take it without harming the stand, what it takes to cook a proper wash out of it in about the time it takes to boil a kettle, and where it does well and where it fails. Stay with me, and you will never look at that roadside the same way again. My name is Amos Stoltzfus, and I am 65 years old, and I have spent the whole of my life on the same ground in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, among the old order Amish. I have known the plants along these roads since I was a boy, small enough to hide in them, taught their names and their uses by a grandmother who could walk a fence line in June and come back with an apron full of things to eat and things to wash with and things to doctor a scrape. This soap plant she knew as well as she knew her own garden. My wife Esther keeps a patch of it to this day down at the shady corner of the yard for the fine washing that the strong soap is too harsh for. So when I tell you what this plant is and what it will do, I am not passing along a thing I read on a screen. I am telling you what I have watched work with my own eyes across 60 years, the same as those before me watched it work in their day. Now hold 2 things in your mind as we go, for they are the parts worth waiting for. The first is this. The very same humble weed I am telling you to look for in the ditch is trusted to wash things worth more than a house. The people whose whole work is keeping the oldest silk and lace and woven cloth alive, the pieces that hang behind glass and are counted as treasures, reach for this plant and not for the store bottle, and I will tell you exactly why a little further on. The second thing is a plain warning. This is soap, and it is good, but there is a right way and a wrong way to use it, and there are 2 or 3 things you must never do with it that most who praise it online will never once mention. I will give you both the gift and the warning, the whole truth of it, because half a truth about soap is how folks get themselves into trouble. Keep the 2 in mind. We will come back to them. You might wonder how a thing so useful and so free came to be forgotten, and I will tell you, and there is no dark plot in it, so pay no mind to anyone who tries to sell you one. What happened is the plainest thing in the world. The store soap came, and it came cheap and it came easy, already made and poured into a bottle, and no one had to know a plant or dig a root or stand over a pot to have it. Easy is a hard thing to argue against on a busy day. And there was never a dollar to be made in teaching a man that soap grows for nothing at the edge of his own field. No company puts out an advertisement for a roadside weed. So the knowing of it slipped away, from the grandmother who used it, to the mother who half remembered it, to the children who never heard of it at all. And it went that quick, inside of a life or 2. The plant never left. Only the knowing of it did. So let me put the plant square in front of you, for it is easy to know once you have met it. It goes by more than one name. Some call it soapwort, and a great many call it bouncing bet, and it is the same plant either way, come over long ago from the old country and gone wild here so thoroughly that it now grows in near every state there is. Look for it from the middle of summer into the fall along roadsides, railroad tracks, ditches, and the untended edges of fields, standing about knee to waist high. It grows in patches, not one lone stalk, but a whole spreading stand of it, for it runs underground on its roots and comes up thick. The flowers are pale pink, sometimes near white, 5 petals to the bloom, gathered at the top of the stem, with a sweet smell in the evening. The stems are smooth and swollen at the joints where the leaves come off in pairs. Once you have truly seen it the one time, you will spot it from a moving buggy the rest of your days. Here is why a plant should lather like soap at all, for it is no magic, only a thing built into it from the start. Inside the sap of this plant is a natural substance, and the plain word for that family of substances is saponins, which is only an old word that means soap-like. What they do in water is the very same work the store soap does. Water on its own beads up and rolls off of grease and cannot get a hold of it, which is the plain reason water alone never truly cleans a greasy plate. These saponins break that skin on the water and let it wet everything evenly, and they take a hold of the grease and the dirt and lift them up off the surface and hold them out in the water so they rinse clean away. That is all soap is when you get down to it. The plant carries the most of this substance down in its roots, a good deal in the stems and leaves as well, and that is why a handful of it worked in water will foam up in your hands the way it does. It is real soap because it does the real work of soap. Now to the gathering of it, and there are a few plain rules that keep you right. Take it from a clean place, well back from where the cars run heavy and where no one has sprayed the weeds with poison, for a ditch by a sprayed field is no place to gather anything you mean to wash with. You can use the leaves and the stems, and you can dig a bit of the root, and it is the root that carries the strongest soap of all, so a short piece of it goes a long way. If you only want to wash for your hands or a fine thing or two, a good double handful of the leafy tops will do you. If you want it stronger, dig and scrub a length of the root about the size of your finger and chop it up small. Do not tear out a whole patch. Take a little from here and a little from there and leave the stand to grow on the way you would with anything worth having again next year. Better yet, and I will come back to this, put a patch of your own in a corner where you can reach it easy. Making the wash out of it is about as hard as making a cup of tea, which is to say, it is not hard at all. Take your double handful of crushed leaves or your chopped piece of root and put it in a pot with about a quart of water. Bring it up to a boil and then let it simmer down low and easy for something between 15 minutes and a half hour until the water turns cloudy and a little green and goes slick between your fingers. Take it off the heat and let it cool, then strain the plant matter out through a cloth or a fine sieve, and what is left in the jar is your soap, a thin, cloudy liquid that does not look like much until you swish it hard and watch it foam. Use it while it is fresh. This is not the store kind that sits for years with who knows what mixed in to keep it. It has nothing added, and so it will only keep about a week, even set in a cool place, before it turns, and you had best make it fresh again. A pot of it costs you nothing but a little water and a half hour by the stove. Now let me be square with you about what this soap is for, because the plain truth serves you far better than a tall claim. This is a gentle soap, a mild one, and that is its nature. It is fine for the everyday dishes that are only lightly soiled, the cups and the plates from an ordinary meal, and it is kind to your hands while it does it. It is good for washing your own hands and even your hair, for it was used that way long before the bottled kind ever came. What it is not is a hard grease cutter. If you have a pan with burnt-on drippings or a skillet swimming in bacon fat, this mild plant wash will not cut through the worst of that the way a strong soap will, and I will not stand here and tell you it does. Anyone who says this, one weed scrubs every greasy pan clean, has oversold you, and that is the one thing I will not do to you. Use it for what it is good at, the light and the delicate washing, and keep your strong soap for the hard grease. Rightly matched to the job, it will not let you down. And here is where that gentleness turns from a weakness into the finest thing about it. And it is the first of the two promises I made you. Because this soap is so mild, it is the very soap you want for the things too precious and too delicate to trust to the harsh store kind. Silk, fine wool, old lace, a quilt that has been in the family since before you were born. The strong detergents are rough on such fibers and can wear them thin or dull them over the years, but this plant wash carries the dirt away and leaves the delicate thread unharmed. That is not just my own kitchen wisdom. The very people whose life work is keeping the world's oldest cloth alive, the centuries-old silk and lace and woven hangings that are guarded as treasures, have long washed those priceless pieces with this same plant, for the plain reason that nothing gentler will do the work, and the modern soaps are too harsh to risk on thread that old. A weed from the ditch, trusted on cloth, worth a fortune. That tells you all you need to know about how kindly it washes. Now the warning I promised, and you must not skip past it, for this is where folks go wrong. This plant is soap, and soap is not food. The same substance that makes it lather so well will trouble your stomach if you were to drink the wash down, and could do worse than that in any real amount. So this is nothing to sip and nothing to swallow. When you wash your dishes with it, rinse them after in clean water, the same as you would with any soap. And do not let the little ones get at the jar, nor the dog, nor the cat, for it is best kept up and out of reach like anything else in the house that is meant for washing and not for eating. One thing more. When you are done, do not pour a whole batch of it out into a pond or a stream, for it is hard on fish and the small life in the water. Tip it out on the ground away from the water instead. None of this makes it dangerous to use. It only makes it soap, to be handled with the same plain sense you would use with any soap at all. And I will tell you one more honest thing that sets me apart from the tales you may have heard, for there are folks online who will have you believe the Amish wash every dish with weeds and never once set foot in a store. That is not the truth of it, and I will not pretend it is. The soap in Esther's dishpan on an ordinary night is a bar we make ourselves from lye and rendered tallow, cooked and cured hard, and that homemade bar is our everyday workhorse for the real grease and the daily wash. This wild plant is not that. It is the older soap and the gentler one, the soap that grew free by every gate, long before a body could buy a bar at all. And we keep it for the fine things and the light washing where its kindness matters. I would not have you think a weed replaces every soap in the house. I would have you know it for what it truly is, one good and free and gentle soap among the others, and a fine one to know how to make with your own two hands. My grandmother is the one who first put this plant in my hands, and I can see her yet, standing at the summer stove with a pot of it going, that faint green smell filling the kitchen, telling me to mind it did not boil over. She washed the good Sunday shirts with it, and the lace collar my grandfather's mother had carried over from the old country, the things too dear to scrub hard. Esther learned it from her own mother the same way, girl beside woman at the stove, and now our own daughters know it. And that is how a thing like this is kept alive at all, hand to hand and never in a book. There is a particular slick feel to the water when the soap has cooked out of the plant proper, a slipperiness you come to know by your fingers, and my grandmother could tell by that feel alone when it was ready and when it wanted another few minutes. You will learn that feel too, the first time or two you make it. It is the plant telling you it is done. Let me give you a few more plain pointers so your first pot comes out right. It lathers best when the wash is still warm and fresh made, so make it near to when you mean to use it. Swish it up hard in the dishwater with your hand to raise the foam, for it does not suds the moment it hits the water the way the store kind does. It wants a little working. If you find your batch weak, you use too little plant or too much water, so next time crush in more leaves or add a piece of root, which is the strong part. Keep what you do not use in a jar in the cool for those few days and give it a sniff before you use it again. When it smells off, it is done and gets tipped out. And here is the best counsel of all. Rather than digging the roadside every time, set a patch of your own in a corner of the yard where the ground is poor, for it grows easy and asks nothing of you. Only pen it in or keep after it, for the same running root that makes it free makes it spread, and it will take a garden bed if you let it. For the one who wants the whole of it set down on paper, I have gathered it together for you. Which soap plants grow in which corner of the country, and how to know each on sight, how to make the wash stronger or milder for different work, how long each kind keeps, and a page on the fine washing besides, the silk and the wool and the lace where this gentle soap earns its keep. The plain homemade recipes for the everyday soaps are in there too, the bar and the wash both. It is all in our Natural Home Guide, and the link to it sits right below this video. It is there for you if you care to have the long version in your own hands, and the small bit it costs helps keep this work going. That is the one and only time I will mention it. Now back to the plant, for there is more worth saying than any paper holds, and the best of it costs you nothing at all. Step back and see what this really comes to. A bottle of dish soap is only a few dollars, that is true, and I am not going to tell you it will break a family to buy it. But you buy it again and again, month upon month, year upon year, and it is a thing you must always go and get and always pay for, made in a factory far away and carried to you in a plastic jug. This plant asks a pot of water and a half hour, the once, and then it grows itself back for free at the edge of your yard for as long as you live and longer. The dollars saved are the least of it. The real worth is in the knowing. If the store shelf sat empty tomorrow, if the money ran short, if you simply wanted no more of the harsh factory kind in your home, you would not be left helpless at a sink full of dishes. You would walk out to the fence and the soap would be standing right there waiting, the same as it has waited for everybody who came before and never thought to look. That is the thing I most want to hand you, more than the soap itself. There is a whole plain world of you standing along the roads you drive every day, hiding in what you have been taught to call weeds and mow down and poison and throw away. This one plant is only a door into it. Our people kept this knowing not because we are set against what is new, but because a man who knows how to meet his own needs from the ground under his feet is a free man in a way that money cannot buy him, and a family that can make its own soap and dry its own wash and put up its own food is not so easily frightened by a hard year. The store is a convenience, and a fine one on a busy day, but it is a poor master when it is the only thing you know. Learn the one plant, make the one pot of soap with your own hands, and you have taken a small piece of that freedom back for yourself. And a small piece is how it always starts. So here is what I would have you do, laid out plain enough to start this very week. First, learn the plant. Go and look along a clean roadside or a field edge in the warm months for a knee-high stand with pale pink five-petaled flowers and smooth stems swollen at the joints. And once you are sure of it, that is Bouncing Bet, your soap. Second, take a little and leave the rest, a double handful of leaves or a short piece of root for a stronger wash. Third, simmer it in about a quart of water for a quarter hour to a half hour, let it cool, and strain it into a jar. Fourth, use it fresh within the week on the light dishes, your hands, your hair, or a fine and delicate thing, and swish it up well to raise the lather. And keep the two rules. Rinse what you wash, since it is soap and not food, and pour the leftover on the ground and never in a pond. Do that much, and you will have made real soap from a roadside weed with your own two hands, and you will not soon forget the first time it foams up for you. Now I would like to hear from you, for I read these comments, everyone. Tell me down below where it is you live, your part of the country or your corner of the world, and whether this soap plant grows where you are, for it has spread to very near everywhere, and I would wager most of you have passed it without knowing. If you go and find a stand of it, come back and tell me. And tell me this besides. Did your own mother or your grandmother keep to any of the old washing ways? A soap she made, a plant she used, a thing she did that the rest of the world has let go of? A great deal of this knowing was handed down from her hands to yours, and it is worth the saving before it is gone for good. Write it down here where others can read it too. For between the whole lot of you, there is more of this old wisdom left than any one of us carries alone. And I learn from you the same as you learn from me. And before you go, here is what is coming the next time. I told you tonight that the everyday soap in Esther's dishpan is not this wild plant at all, but a bar we cook ourselves from lye and tallow, a few cents the batch, and made to cut the hard grease this gentle one leaves behind. Next time I will stand at the stove and show you the whole of how that bar is made, plain and safe and step by step, the soap that has washed our people for generations. So keep your eye out for it. And until then, the next time you drive past that pink weed leaning along the fence, do not take it for nothing. Stop if you can and crush a leaf or two in a little water in your palm and watch the lather rise and know that the soap was standing there the whole of your life, free for the taking, waiting on no one but you to remember it. That is enough for tonight. Go gently, and I will see you the next time.